Hello again, everyone. This is Kayla from Soul Deep Success. And today I'd like to talk about some things that you can do if you've been experiencing a low mood or you have some emotions that are dragging you down. So even with all of the work that I do, I still have days where I wake up and my emotions just feel really heavy. Or I reach a point in the day where I've got a low mood dragging me down. And sometimes this is because of a specific thing that has happened and I can kind of narrow down what's going on. But sometimes it feels like it's for absolutely no reason, and that can be so frustrating. But there are some things that you can do to kind of lift yourself out of it and get back to whatever your normal is. So when you are experiencing this low mood, you feel really heavy, you might feel sad, you might feel disconnected from things and people around you, you might feel a lack of motivation. This is all completely normal. But the first thing that you need to do is to recognize when you're in a state like this. And when you recognize, oh no, my emotions are kind of going crazy and they're dragging me down, and what is this feeling? This doesn't even feel like it's coming from me. What is this? And sometimes when you get that awareness, you're in a spot where you're like, okay, I need to shift this right now. So when you're in that point where you're ready to shift those emotions, you can do something that you know is going to bring you a little bit of enjoyment, something that's going to snap you out of it. So this could be talking to someone that you love, especially one of those people who you know is kind of naturally upbeat and positive. This could be listening to some upbeat music, maybe even having a little bit of a dance party if you're that kind of person. You could spend some time with a pet. I find that really helpful for me. I happen to have a very clingy cat on my lap right now. And you could go for a walk. You could get out in nature. You could read a good book that you know is uplifting. I don't necessarily recommend a book that you haven't read before because that may have some things in it that drag you down again and you may not know. You could do some art. Maybe you're the type of person where doing a bit of cleaning and getting your space organized and decluttered gets you a little bit more energized. Anything that's gonna give you a little bit of a boost and kind of get you going again. But sometimes when you're in that really oppressive sort of mood, you're at a point where you're not necessarily ready to be snapped out of it right away. And that's completely fine. I have those times where I'm just not quite ready to let it go, or I need to do a little bit more soul searching about exactly what's going on. And in that case, it's perfectly okay to take some time and just sit with those feelings and be aware of what's coming up for you. What are those emotions? What are those thoughts? Can you pin down what's going on there? Now, there's a big difference between sitting with your thoughts and feelings and wallowing in your thoughts and feelings. And I want to be very clear about that. When you are wallowing, you're letting those thoughts and emotions have control. You're giving up your control to them. And sometimes we even do things to expand those feelings. Like we might listen to sad music or watch a sad movie or read a sad book or, just sit and feel sorry for ourselves and think of all the ways, people have harmed us or we're not good enough or things like that. I am not suggesting any of that. I know we're all guilty of this. I am definitely guilty of this, but that is not what I'm recommending. But what I want you to do, if you need to give your emotions a little bit more time before you shift them, is just sit with them and just allow them to tell you whatever it is they have to tell you. But do this more as a neutral observer. So you're not passing judgment. You're not feeding into the emotions. You're not letting them have control of you. You're just noticing what they are. You're giving them a voice. You're accepting them. And you're saying, okay, what are all the different emotions that I'm feeling right now? What is it that they have to tell me? And just letting them know that they're okay, they're accepted, you're okay. And it gives you a chance to recognize what's going on, but also to recognize that you are not your emotions. They are messages that your brain is sending to you right now, but they are separate from you. You choose what you do with those messages. So you can let those feelings kind of pass through you, let them know that they have a voice, that you're hearing what they have to tell you. But then hopefully you'll reach a point where you have gotten what you need to get from them and you can start to shift them and let them go. So if you do this from your heart rather than your head, it's going to be a lot easier. If you try to grab on with your mind and the logical part of your brain and you try to harness those emotions like they're wild horses, that's not going to be a very effective way of managing them. And you're going to find it to be a big struggle. You're not necessarily going to find that it lasts, but you need to feel these emotions from your heart without letting them sink in and take control of you. So one thing that you can do is just breathe and sit with them and just say, I love you, I accept you. This is whether you're talking to your emotions or yourself, really. And just breathe and picture breathing through your heart. And just focus on love and acceptance and gratitude and peace. And eventually you're going to feel these emotions start to move. It's going to be gradual. It may not be everything all at once. But again, it's going to give you that lift out of that just really oppressive state of feeling that you were in. It's going to give you enough of a boost that you can start doing other things to get yourself going and get yourself moving again. So I hope that you find this helpful, and please reach out to me if you would like to talk about anything or if you need support. I am always here for you, and I will see you again soon.